Hello?
Good afternoon. Let me get my videos on here. There we go.
There we go. Good afternoon.
Yeah. Get rid of something here.
Jesus.
The thing's just way too noisy.
It was noisy. It was noisy coming off. That is.
So I'd move around and just be annoying myself.
I'm just setting up a show notes document. So I saw a pretty cool. Remember we watched one of his videos before, is like Barnacles or something. Remember that?
Yeah.
So he does a cool, and I don't know if they use Zoom or not, but they have it looks similar to our setup here with kind of the two screens. But he has, I don't know, he must take this video and put it into something and edit it, but he has stuff like in the black areas, like the name channel and stuff like that. So I think that, I think I'll look into doing that with this one. Because it does look better. So,
Well, I think that anytime you're able to post edit a video, it probably helps more than hurts it.
Yeah, and it will also help if we can try to like 30 minutes as opposed to an hour and a half. Only because the size of the video is so large. Editing it takes so long to do that type of thing.
All right. Well, I just glanced at the clock, so I'm starting a timer now.
All right, that's good. Yeah, we can stick to that. Plus, I can smell food cooking in the other room, so I'm hungry.
I have a quick question since you've been traveling.
Yeah.
So recently, I don't know if this necessarily makes it into the show or not, but have you used like airline miles to try to upgrade on any of your transatlantic flights?
No. So we generally fly American Airlines, not just kind of out of. That's the only one that flies direct from Chicago. But no, we signed up, and I think we collect them, but we don't seem to ever have enough to do anything. So I'm not sure if we do them wrong or but short answer, no.
Okay.
But it seems to work for some people.
Well, because I was just looking at that from Portland here, it looks like there's a direct flight from Portland to Heathrow or something like that.
Okay.
Or Portland to Frankfurt, and which is nice. I mean, because if you're going to be in the air for, what is it? It's 7 hours from Chicago, right?
Yeah, we're about 7 hours to get there and 8 hours to get back.
Jeez and Pete. So it would take me
10
hours.
Yeah.
I may as well fly to Asia.
Yeah. Yeah.
But so apparently once you're on the West Coast, you are 10 hours away from any other major continent.
Yep.
But anyway, so I was looking at Alaska Airlines because they have like their partner airlines is like British Airways and Air France and all these different things.
One World Alliance, is that what it is?
No, but that actually sounds pretty creepy when you put it like that.
No, I know that American Airlines is a part of the One World Alliance, and they talk about it all the time.
You know what? It must be because American Airlines is listed here as one of their travel partners.
I think that all the airlines are part of the same thing.
That way they can screw you equally.
That's absolutely right.
Which one you choose. That makes sense. So, well, okay. Well, because I had the thought, I'm like, well, I could maybe, get Alaska Airlines mileage card and use that to pay my bills for the next year and hopefully have enough points, and then I could just upgrade to first class. Because if I'm going to be on a plane for 10 hours, I may as well, be in a less crappy seat.
Absolutely.
I don't know.
But very expensive.
Yeah, obviously.
So one of my cards is not an airline card. It's just a Visa card, or it's a MasterCard. That allows me to collect points, and those points are redeemable for airline miles. This is something I think slightly different, though.
Yeah.
The best value of any of the points for my particular card is just to get cash back.
Yeah.
So they give you, I think they give you $1.5 for every point back. So for 100 points, I would get $150.
Oh, that's not bad.
100 points will give you a $95 travel voucher. You know what I mean? So it's like, I'll just take the cash and pay for it, and it doesn't make a difference.
Right. Well, and that's why, because we don't use credit cards anymore at all for anything.
Yeah.
And so it's like, if I'm going to do it, I want something to, I don't care about the cash back per se, but if using, your Alaska Air credit card allows me to take those points and apply them directly, and it's more seamless without any, then maybe that's worthwhile. Because I'll tell you what I'm not going to do is pay for a first class ticket.
No, I'm not sure. Even if you wanted to, it would be something you could.
No, I have no idea how much or how expensive it is. But let's assume that it's an order of magnitude more than what I want to spend.
Well, I'll tell you, just our flights generally to Heathrow are they're between $1,200 and $1,800 per person round trip. The same flight booked at the same time in a first class is between 10 and 15,000.
Wow.
So it's almost a 10 times. It's 10 times more. And when you land, we think about it every time. We think, should we just do it? It's one time. Should we enjoy the first? But when we land, it's like, I'm so glad that I have $9,000 to spend on shopping that I wouldn't have if I would have sat up here. I were walking through those seats. They're not that. I mean, they're lay flat. People can sleep. They get nicer meals, et cetera, et cetera. But at the end of it, it is only 7 hours or 8 hours.
Well, exactly. I mean, it isn't 10 times better.
Correct. Right.
It's not like the plane crashes and you're guaranteed to survive.
Correct. Right.
So.
And even, I mean, the food is slightly better. I see them bringing desserts, and I see them. We don't drink much anyway, but they get alcohol upgrades or more alcohol. I'm not sure. But.
Whatever. But still, it's still not a 10x
right.
Trade-off.
Right.
So that's what I was literally just looking at Alaska's website, which is why I asked. And,
and like I said, to get there, when we land, we're walking through, and we say, I'm so much happier to have $9,000 more. Well, times two, because there's two of us.
Oh yeah, that's a lot of shopping.
Yeah, so you figure $20,000 that we can now go blow if we wanted to, which we don't because we don't have it in the first place. But had we done it, but no, I mean, if you assuming you're disciplined enough to work with a credit card, I'm sure you are. You just set it up for never carry a balance and always pay off the full amount, and
exactly.
You just use that for all your groceries and all your stuff instead of the debit card. Yeah, if it's collecting miles for you.
Yeah. So, I'll research it a bit more and let you know how that.
I will be interested to know, and I mean, it will be nice to upgrade. The thing is, once you kind of get it started, once it's like it's circular. So once you get started with the miles, and now you're using your miles to upgrade, you're still getting miles.
Right.
While you're
flying. So it is kind of nice apparently.
Yeah.
Like I have a bunch of Southwest miles that I never used that I could apparently use to purchase tickets at this point because I'm not like 50,000 miles. And like looking at Alaska's, how to earn your miles. And it looks like it doesn't say anything about international flights, but it looks like for domestic flights, you can get a first class upgrade for 15,000 miles one way.
Okay.
That seems pretty reasonable.
Yeah. And do you get a mile per dollar you spend?
I don't. I haven't even clicked on the card to actually see, what that is or how they even do that. But yeah, I mean, because if that's the case, that racks up
absolutely quickly. Especially if you make, and you say, okay, I'm gonna pay the car every month with the MasterCard. You could. Depending on the limit, you could max it every month.
Yep, and then pay it off.
Yeah. So, and that wouldn't take long to get, well, you know, 15,000 miles or 30,000 miles, right, to fly round trip.
Yeah. Yeah, you know, you figure you need, you know, even figuring high, maybe, you know, 50,000 miles. I don't know. And that's what I was just getting ready. I was like, oh, I need to call to make sure that I can use those miles on, you know, British Airways or on, you know, that particular type of flight. And because if I can, you know, I don't fly Alaska enough to get
right. So, but that'd be the way to go, though. That, I mean, like I said, the seats are very nice. I just can't see paying that kind of.
Well, if I manage to pull it off, then I will YouTube the whole thing.
Oh, I definitely would. Speaking of that, there are a few YouTube videos of people kind of reviewing, like Emirates has apparently has the best first class service you can get,
and Emirates is on this list.
Okay.
I don't know if I would be traveling any place that Emirates is flying unless they're bringing it home.
You can take you could take Emirates from, I don't know about Portland, but from the U.S. to Melbourne, Australia via
Dubai or
Dubai. What's the other one? There's one right near Dubai that, anyway, probably Dubai or somewhere close.
I was going to say Abu Dhabi. Oh, good. I thought I was just making up a word.
But the guy, I watched a review actually, and he wrote business class from New York to Abu Dhabi, and then switched to first class from Abu Dhabi to Melbourne. And he was so his second leg was 12 hours in first class, and he said it was the most enjoyable experience he's ever had, and he could easily go another few hours. Like, he wasn't desperate to get off the plane.
Really?
Yeah, but I mean, they showed it. It's pretty nice.
I mean, because I got to be honest, you know, like, I've flown, you know, from Detroit to Germany and you know, Detroit to Heathrow, and you know, at about that 4 to 5 hour mark, you're kind of done.
Yeah.
You know, you're getting up, you're walking around the cattle car, and you're looking forward to seeing the lights.
I agree completely. Yep. I agree. He said no, and like I said, he showed it, and you should look at it. But it's like the A380 is one of them.
Oh yeah, I've heard of that.
That's the double-decker one.
Yeah, where they actually have a bar upstairs
and a shower, so you can get the first class. You can get a first-class residence cabin that has like a separate shower bed area. Yeah, so it's pretty nice digs, but those are like $25,000 tickets.
Well, yeah, well, that's you know, you're not going to spend that. Well, I don't know. I mean, I would. I'm not going to spend that. You know, even if I won Powerball, I'm not even sure if that would be my first thought. Oh, you know what? I'm gonna go to Melbourne. I'm just gonna go first class.
See, Powerball winners are different, though. I mean, because that's just a one-time. This is your savings account now.
No,
if you're you know, making, I would say you're making, you know, $50 million every 6 months.
Yeah, and you're going over there on business, and you know, whatever. I'll tell you, if you had to fly more frequently, like if it's a one-time thing, you know, you can man out in the quote-unquote cattle car for you know, 14 hours, you know, because you're only going to do it once every 5 years.
Right.
But yeah, you're making millions of dollars a year, and you have to travel to, you know, from, I don't know, Kansas to Melbourne.
Yeah.
You know, 6 times a quarter.
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly. Every other week you're making that trip or whatever. Or
just you know, once a quarter, even if it's 4 times a year.
Or you're just at an income level where the difference between $2,500 and $25,000, there is no difference to you. You know what I mean? And I could see that. I mean, the difference between, I don't know, if I said, you know, could I borrow $100 from you? Or if I said, you know, I really need $500 from you, I think that you would loan me either one of those amounts really without a problem either way, right? You know, I mean, you wouldn't say I can do the 100, no problem, but the 500 would. So I mean, you know, I think you and I are in a situation where 100 or 500 doesn't make a difference.
That's true, and I think that there's some some psychology that goes in with that. It's not like, you know, you start making that and immediately, you know, your mind switches like, oh, okay, well, yeah, I can do that. You know, you've probably watched your bank account swell for 5 years. You're like, oh, you know, I hate doing it, but I'm going to bite the bullet and just try it once because
I am actually having trouble spending all this money.
Right.
I no matter what I do, my bank account is higher at the end of the month.
Yeah, and the last time I had to sit beside the smelliest person, and you know what? I'm not, never again.
Right. So there are individual pods. They have little doors that close. Your boarding kit comes with pajamas, so you change into pajamas for the trip. And it comes with a razor and shampoo and the eye mask, you know, that what you sleep with. You know, it comes with all that stuff. And as far as, you know, making YouTube videos go, when you're up there, you can say, hold on, don't pour that yet. Let me get my camera ready. Okay, now pour my coffee and let me watch you pour. You know what I mean?
Could you ever visualize or dream about yourself doing that without feeling douchey?
I think I would feel kind of douchey doing it, but I think it's a state of mind thing, right? I mean,
maybe,
you know, I would feel douchey trying to learn how to skateboard. You know what I mean? But if I wanted to learn,
you didn't give it a shot. And
how are you going to learn? You know, if I wanted to ride one of those hoverboards, you know, in the mall. Eventually, I'd have to get on it for the first time.
Well, that's true. But is there ever a future that you accept that bag with your pajamas, your pajamas, and your razor, and you don't feel a little embarrassed?
Right. Well, you know, and the funny thing too is, I looked at.
Here you go, Mr. Williams. Your pajamas and your teddy bear.
I don't know how. Yeah. Well, I looked at how much it would cost to charter a plane because we're going to California for spring break, and there's 5 of us. So I was like, well, it's gonna, you know, it's like $1,000. There's like $250 each for a ticket, so it's $1,000 total, or it's about $1,000 each for first class. So it's $5,000 for first class. I'm not considering first class, but I was just curious what the difference is to go from $5,000 for 5 of us at first class to a jet, you know, a charter jet that holds 9, right? And the charter jet is for Michigan to California is $25,000. So it's, you know, obviously a lot more. But I think that first class on a large airplane will be more comfortable than the charter jet.
I'm not sure, you know, because the charter jet would kind of, you know, you have plenty of leg room. You can stand up and walk around. It's probably only like a 2 aisle. You know, you have the aisle and then, you know, a seat.
No, the 25,000 one was just a single aisle.
Just 2 seats.
They were very nice seats.
Yeah.
They face each other, you know, and they set up.
But
I was worried it would be loud and bumpy.
I doubt that it would be loud. It'd be. I don't know. I have a couple of. I know I have at least one friend that's a pilot for a jet like that.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, and I'll ask him about it.
Yeah.
But I imagine that it'd be pretty nice. I mean, because you think about it, you get to skip all airport security.
Well, see, now that is, that's something else as well, because you could just fly out of a small airport.
It doesn't even matter if you fly out of a big airport. You know, you have a special gate to go to.
Yeah.
You know, it's a private, you know, drive on type thing.
Well, so you're right.
So there is some perks with that. You know, you don't have to deal with the TSA or
that's true,
anything like that. And you know, if you're not well, and even if you're traveling international, you know, you end up, you know, getting like a custom person to come to you.
Right. Yep. That's true. That's true. I could see making enough money or I couldn't see if I was making enough money that I could afford that. I could see being the type of person that was no problem accepting the bag
Mm-hmm.
with my pajamas, and and hanging my shirt, my shirt up in a little cubby for it, and having them make the bed out, and that's it.
But I would say, or at least I'm going to make this assumption that, and here's maybe the distinction. You show up for your first class flight from Chicago to Dubai. You're not wearing sweatpants.
No. You're in like khakis and a button shirt and possibly a sport.
Right. At a minimum, if you're not in a suit and tie, it doesn't matter what time of day it is. You're there at 4 a.m. and you have your press suit on or whatever.
Yeah,
but
it's not sweatpants. Right. It has to be different than the pajamas. I generally wear sweatpants now to travel because I know that on my sweatpants there's no metal. And I know there's no little buttons and no little things because most of my other pants are the 511, like khaki, my cargo pants have buttons and flaps. And
I've been taking, when I've been traveling to Tennessee, to wear either like really, nice slacks or khaki and, or suit pants and then a button down shirt. And mostly because those pants are almost as comfortable as sweatpants.
Yeah.
But I don't know if people necessarily treat you any differently, but same type of thing. There's no real metal on them.
Right. What about the belt? Do you not need a belt for them?
I generally just take off my belt and put it through the X-ray, and that's that, and haven't had any problems with that. But yeah, it's funny. My wife and I were just talking about doing the TSA Pre-screening.
Oh yeah,
and because she has a lot of travel where she has to go down to San Francisco coming up in the next several months. So just getting that pre-check in and out. We both have Oregon concealed licenses, so FBI. We've already done the FBI background check and all that fun stuff, and fingerprints, the whole 9 yards. So
it's not. It's $100, right? Is it $100?
I'm not even sure. She just sent me the link, so I don't even know what necessarily what the process is. But I mean,
I have seen a line for it.
For what it is. I mean, and that line is never busy.
No, I've seen it's a separate entrance. It's all and
you just kind of pass on through it. So I could definitely see it being pretty worthwhile if you're flying more than 3 or 4 times a year.
Yeah. No, I agree with that.
Just go ahead and go through. I mean, I hate to use the whole thing. Well, I don't have anything to hide. I still think that it's an invasion of privacy, and the agency shouldn't even exist. But
the interesting thing about this last time, because we took the kids when we went to England, and they so the kids are at an age where they're required to go through security by themselves, right? So I keep hold of all the passports and I hand them out just as we're getting up to security, because they have to go through alone, but they're still young enough where it's like, all right, we're going for 10 days. We're staying with my sister. I'm not coaching them, but I'm just making sure that everyone is clear on what, because I would hate to say, they say, well, where are you going to stay? I don't know. Buckingham Palace.
I have no idea. And in fact, I'm not even planning on coming home.
I wasn't listening. when we went over the details. I'm not sure, because that's how they are, really, is they just have to go with the flow. And so it wouldn't surprise me that they didn't know where we were going.
That's like, now I heard something about the Queen and
right,
and really big fireworks.
Right, we're going to lots of castles and big fireworks, and we don't have any weapons though.
I know he said something about an explosion, but maybe that was the fireworks.
Maybe it was New Year's Eve. Anyway, where am I? Who am I? But
what did you say my name was again? Yeah, that's right. You're right.
That's right. So Yeah, so like I said, we made sure to do a little coaching just to make sure everything was clear. But like I said, that's the difficult thing is they're old enough to go through by themselves, and then
Right.
they have to, kind of deal with, well, I take my shoes off, I take my belt off. We have to, you can't have like bits of stuff in your pockets.
And you think that it's bad, on our end, just kind of flying around and doing that. But we were coming back from Ireland several years ago, and what they make non-U.S. citizens do is almost mean. I mean,
when you come, yes.
Oh man, where you have to, all 10 fingerprints and a facial scan, and I have no idea what else is going. Because there's the special line for visitors coming in.
Even with because I have a green card, so even once I get up to the line, so I can technically go through either one of those lines. So I can go through the U.S. citizen green card line, or
let me guess which one you never go through.
Well, I'll tell you though, the U.S. citizen line, they have those kiosks where you have to, position the camera, and it takes your picture, and mine always puts an X in it, and I have to go through it anyway. So I've taken to going through the non-U.S. line, and it's faster. It's the same size line, but there's no kiosks to play with.
Oh, okay.
They're useless anyway to me. And the guy told me that I'm on that Paul Williams, the name Paul Williams, is on a no-fly list somewhere.
Of course it is.
So he said you'll always get the X. He said but I still have to play around with it all and do it. So no, I've taken to going through the Ellis Island line, but it's a horrible line.
I mean, well, what a complete worthless list where, hey, let's put everyone on this list so that every, because it's just like everything else. If everyone is on it, nothing ever gets found.
Right. No, exactly. Yeah. Well, yeah. What's the point? So every Paul Williams now is stopped.
Right.
That makes no sense because 9,999 times out of 10,000, it's not the one you want, and probably even more than that. It's probably even more, times it's not the one you're looking for. But they never catch anyone because they're like, well, I'm sure you're not the one.
No. Yeah, we see Paul Williamses all the time.
Yeah, exactly. So, although, and you may remember this in England, or at least what you ban in Ireland, the EU line, I walk through with my passport open to the picture, and he does this.
Right on through.
Walks you right through. Walk through. So that's a nice line. Over there, they say, "Welcome home, Paul." They're happy to see me there.
T times it 2.
Right, exactly. Welcome home. Thank you. Come on by. But the nice thing is, because of my EU passport, I have a British passport. All the rest of my family also comes through that line with their.
Oh, really? Just with one? That's really interesting.
Right. They have to fill out the card. The card they hand out on the plane?
Yeah, the customs declaration card.
Yeah. So I don't fill one out, but they do.
Okay.
But other than that, they can go through the fast line.
Okay, well, that's really nice.
Yeah, so that's pretty good. So just one passport will get us all through it. Yeah.
Well, we're like 30 minutes in, or at least 20 minutes in, and I've completely derailed our anything that you've potentially planned on talking.
I had no plans. I have nothing. I tell you, just real quick. So I do side work. I do a little bit of work like twice a year, 3 times a year for a company, an insurance company, and they come up with these ridiculous requests where they want. So currently, I'm working on. They want an EXE that sits on the desktops of all these. All like the insurance agents or all the people who answer the phones. They want this EXE when they click it to open Chrome with the web page. And that's what I'm putting together. So it's one step more than that, actually. It takes their username that they've logged into the computer with and passes it into the page as a parameter. But that's what I'm making for them.
That is an exceptionally random request, isn't it? Like I don't even know.
They don't want it bookmarked. They want an EXE. And the thing is, for someone who does Visual Basic programming or C++, whatever, or C# programming to make an EXE, it would probably take them 15 minutes, but I don't. So it's taken me I'm like got 2 or 3 hours into it.
Right.
Because I have to say, what am I'm looking up every single word, right?
Oh yeah.
So that kind of thing. But it's, Visual Basic is kind of fun. You can put like a little icon, and I have they send me over an image, and now I'll send them an exe file, so it'll be fully compiled, and they'll install it across all of their phone operator people, and they just click it and it opens.
They'll be very happy. And so is it a thing that they just didn't want to have Chrome installed so that their employees could browse around? Or
no, Chrome is installed, but
so you're not logging, like blocking them from other, actually using the browser.
It blocks the address bar because they don't want them to be able to put in a different user ID. So there isn't any. There's no verification on the user ID, but it records who's doing the lookup. So you don't want to be able to put in their neighbor or something like that. So it hides the address bar. It just opens Chrome in app mode, so there's no address bar, and then it but if you could see the address bar, it has their username in it.
Sure.
But it's not super secure. It's passed into JavaScript, and then the JavaScript posts it off, to the place that it gets the quotes from. But
yeah, it's a security through obscurity.
Yeah, it's security. It's assuming that the people who are answering phones for people calling up to get insurance quotes don't know enough JavaScript to get in there and change their user ID. And if they do, they'll catch it, I guess, or they won't. So it's just not everyone.
Yeah, it essentially stops that 999.
Exactly.
9,999 Paul Williamses that wouldn't do it anyway. But the one that you have to worry about, that guy.
that guy, the one guy who's going to do it. But like I said, that's what I'm currently working on. So no, I didn't have anything really planned anyway. So
yeah, and I haven't had a chance to, outside of looking at some YouTube stuff. I did look at Snapchat and find it incredibly confusing.
I haven't looked at it. I don't know.
It's like, I'm trying to figure out how to use it, and it's not like you can upload a video, so you couldn't do anything really polished. Doing multiple takes and upload it to Snapchat and send it out. So and you have like maybe 30 seconds, maybe a minute. I think that it's about 30 seconds or less. So it's all off the cuff stuff. And you do have the option of not, so you make a snap and you don't have to send that or publish that. So you can do multiple takes, but you're really kind of missing out on, other things, I think. So I don't know. It seems like it could be pretty interesting in terms of maybe getting stuff out there, but it just seems like a lot more work than say, a YouTube or Facebook or Twitter video where you can, put a little bit more thought into, what you want to.
But my kids use Snapchat a lot, and they are, 14.
Perhaps,
my 14.
We should ask your children. How to use this.
But for her, she doesn't care about putting in links or backlinks or worried about it. She's just posting a video of something funny, so whatever. And
apparently the demographics on Snapchat, they are aging up. So there's a lot more 24 to 44 people using it now, but. So that's kind of the demographic from a business perspective, probably the demographic that we would kind of try to go after. Right. But I do. I try to, I was looking at it and I'm like, wow, how did someone ever think that this UI was good?
Yeah.
And obviously, I'm being very critical, but and that's my stupid opinion. Obviously, what do I know? Because people are using it, and apparently it's making money.
Is Snapchat the one that disappears after you watch it?
It used to, and I don't know if it necessarily does anymore. It's the ghost one. Has the little ghost icon.
Oh, I've never used it.
But yeah, so. But yeah, that was I guess. what it was supposed to be used for, once upon a time was, you send a snap out to your friends and it disappeared, and people didn't have access to that anymore. And I'm not sure if that's still the same thing or not, mainly because I'm very confused by everything.
Yeah.
So I'm not entirely sure what it's doing or how it's doing it or why.
Well, and maybe if we could see it in the context of I have 50 people or I have 500 people that I follow and 500 that follow me.
Right. What I see it being very valuable for is like some of the people that you were talking about on YouTube that are just, they're YouTube personalities, and most of their videos is them face to face, interacting or just chatting or ranting about something. And that seems to be the perfect platform for Snapchat.
Yeah.
Just get it out there and there it is. And then you can, have conversations back and forth because you can, reply to people
I see.
with a video. So it's kind of like what we were talking about, that, how does Twitter not do that?
Right.
Allow you to make a quick video, to reply to a tweet. So I don't know.
But if I was having a conversation with someone else in video, you can't come along and watch all of that, can you?
Not from what I've seen, and it seems like there's different ways to publish it where you can make it part of your story, which I'm not real sure what that means or how that affects anything. Because I started following Gary Vaynerchuk on there, and because ideally what I would like to do, in Twitter or Facebook, I can go and see everything he's ever written and and kind of get an idea. In Snapchat, it's not the case, and he's been pretty prolific on Snapchat, and it seems like that would be a place that would be pretty valuable to be able to hey, there's Gary, what's he done this week that I haven't seen,
right?
And watch those 30-second clips or whatnot. He actually did a Snapchat interview, which I found pretty interesting. It was a series of snaps, again, 20 to 30 seconds each, but it followed through as an actual interview with somebody, and I thought that was pretty interesting. But
you were able to go and watch all of it, the questions and responses.
Yeah, because it was kind of like in this like storyline type thing, and it just kind of all looped and played. But the quality is terrible, because you're stuck using like your phone.
Yeah.
The speakers on your phone, so that, and he did this on the street in New York, so it's loud, it's noisy, it's kind of annoying, and I don't know. I mean, people are probably watching it, but
would it be more enjoyable to do it on YouTube or something? Yeah, it's just if he's using it just for the sake of using it, then what's the point?
Well, that's kind of it. It's like, is that really the best medium? I mean,
I agree.
You're kind of you're getting views, but you get views anyway.
Right. Yeah. Right. Exactly. Yeah.
So you doing it, doesn't and telling me that you're getting views doesn't necessarily help me decide if this is a good medium for anything.
Right.
So I don't know. I'm definitely up in the air about it, and kind of more confused with it than anything. So that's my own.
And the thing that I asked last week, I think it was last week, and that made you mention Snapchat originally was, like a video way of communicating back and forth. But so I was, have you ever been on Yahoo Answers? Like the Yahoo Answers or Quora or something like that. Like that in video is what I'm looking for. Like that, I think would be pretty cool. Where you don't have to do it through the app. You can post whatever you want. They're limited to a certain length or something. But
and that's the thing. It's like Quora or Yahoo Answers or Stack Overflow. They're and I think that the first two are more positioned to do with than Stack Overflow, but that seems like it would be an easy pivot point. And you give the user the option of, hey, here's a text field that you can that you can fill out, or you can upload a video under a certain size.
Yeah. Right. Yep.
And and that's that seems like it would be pretty helpful. And then and here's the description. So you can use a combination of both. And yeah, I think that would actually be really valuable. That would be very helpful.
Well, let's do that. Let's outsource the entire application. But I think that would be pretty cool, and allowing people, because people already upload, animated GIFs into those comments and stuff. And I think a lot of times that's funny, and a lot of times it's not noise when they upload those GIFs. It's helpful, or at least does add to the conversation. But I think if it was, if I could click on click the button and it fired up my webcam, and I could speak, I think it would do two things. One is it would put me in check a little bit, because I wouldn't troll, right? You know what I mean? Not that I troll, but other people, they might not troll as hard if it's their face, right? Or it might be funny if they were trolling with a a real video,
right?
But it also, some people are not prolific writers, and some people have
so just terrible grammar when they're trying to write. And hopefully they don't speak with such terrible grammar, but
I suppose they could, but right. So it might help some of that.
But at the end of the day, when they're speaking and they're talking about there, and there, I'm not getting annoyed because of their atrocious spelling.
Exactly. Yeah, because you just hear it.
Improper use. Exactly.
Right. But the other thing with Yahoo Answers and Stack Overflow and Quora is that and I don't know about Snapchat, but things get upvoted, answers get upvoted, questions are upvoted.
Yep.
That helps good content bubble up.
Yep.
And garbage just is just garbage.
And Snapchat is not like that. As far as I can tell, Snapchat is just a bunch of noise.
Yeah.
There's just it's just a big static generator. There's just so much noise there that there's no way to find good content from what I can tell. Please correct me if you watch this. But yeah, so that's my opinion right now, and I agree. I think that Quora or Yahoo Answers that would allow video like that would be really really cool. Because now you can have, because there's great political questions on Quora. Why does so and so do this? So think of you could actually have, like, I don't know if I would say respectful discourse, but you could. You can legitimately have good conversations, discussing really deep, in-depth topics.
The thing that I see happen on Quora a lot is because I get like the weekly like the weekly roundup type thing.
Yeah.
But someone will say, what does Mark Zuckerberg actually do all day? And Mark Zuckerberg will actually reply with what he does. And you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like a verified account will reply, or I can't think of who I just read, but someone said, it wasn't Bernie Sanders, but what's Bernie Sanders' IQ?
Yeah.
And Bernie Sanders answered, and he said, I tested it when I was 10 and doesn't matter and no one cares and blah, blah. Like I said, it wasn't Bernie Sanders, it was someone else, but someone like that.
Right. Bernie Sanders would be like, what?
Right.
What did you say?
Right. But think of how awesome that would be as a video, as opposed to them just typing, if they made a 15-second video of them, you wouldn't have to verify it, right? It would be.
Yep. Well, yeah, exactly. I think that would be hugely powerful. Now I'm actually questioning, why isn't that the case?
Yeah.
Because that seems like a really good idea, and I don't know why that's not being done.
Well, there you go. You're welcome. Here comes $1 billion. This might be the big one.
But we're gonna have 2 people watch this particular episode.
Yeah, 2 views.
And in a month,
Yes.
We're going to see exactly what we just said in Quora.
Yep. Well, there you go. There's your. I mean, essentially, what we've just given out is the winning Powerball numbers. I mean, easily, because what the people who won the Powerball, they only got 400 million each, right? Because a couple people won. I think it was 3 people won.
Oh, I didn't even realize anyone won.
3 people won the big one. Won the $1 billion. It was like just under $1 billion.
Yeah, so they gotta split that. And
they split it, and they're after taxes. So their actual take home was 404 or 420 or something like that. So yeah,
still not too shabby.
It's not too shabby.
They're going to take their pajama bag.
Yes, but that's my point, is that I think my savings, if I was buying a plane ticket out of my savings account, I would be careful. But if I was buying a plane ticket out of a checking account that I just had a check deposited and I knew another check was coming next week, I wouldn't be as careful.
But I'm thinking with that amount of money, it ends up, with the interest that you would make on it alone.
Yeah.
You would be hard pressed to spend the interest.
Oh, easy to say, but there's plenty of folks who burn through that money, right? And
and you're right, because they never leave it sit long enough.
I'm getting a helicopter.
In order to earn.
I mean, a helicopter is only $16 million. I have $400 million. I'll get a helicopter, but you can't fly it or put, so all of those things happen. I have $400 million. I'm buying a $20 million house. Yeah, but it costs you $70,000 a month to heat and run the place.
Right, with the staff and everything else.
Right. Yeah, I mean, there's, and that's the thing that, no one, and you paid all this money, but you have no idea that it's worth half that. You were just impressed because it had a indoor pool. I mean, so.
No, you're absolutely right. I'm actually really intrigued now because, sites like Quora, I don't think that those are all that difficult. I think the most difficult thing about it is gaining that critical mass of people actually asking questions.
And where that can, now you can get the good questions pushed up because they're voting yes and they're thumbs downing, those types of things. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, well, that's really interesting. I mean, I would love to see that. I think that would, and I was just trying to figure out how to kind of get started, because the site itself isn't anything difficult to make. I mean,
especially if you look at Stack Overflow, and really, I mean, there's tons of Stack Overflow properties, right? Like Stack.
Oh yeah. Stack Exchange,
and all of those ones, except for the one that you and I visit most, would do well with video. Mm-hmm. Like I've read a lot of the plain ones, and even how when you're on one and you come up on the right side of the screen's got other questions, and I'll get sucked into reading about why in Star Wars did this character say, you know what I mean? But that would be terrific in video.
Yes, it would. How is this not a thing? I mean, seriously, that seems like the fastest win for any of these companies is that they're already spending thousands and tens of thousands of dollars on server space. Stack Overflow alone, that's one of their biggest scalability issues is making sure that they have efficient queries to handle that scale across all of these different nodes, if you will.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, what you're likely already using Amazon for all of that anyway. At that scale, because who else are you going to use? You're not managing it yourself.
Oh, absolutely. You're not using DigitalOcean. No. You're on Azure or you're on Amazon, and that's it.
Yeah, and you have a team of DevOps engineers that's managing all that and orchestrating all that for you. So, I mean, how difficult is it to set up an S3 or the Azure equivalent to S3 that you're just uploading video to?
Yeah,
and serving that, kind of repeating that. It's in some of those sites, you're already allowing people to upload user images or GIFs or whatever else.
Mm-hmm.
Why not a 4 megabyte video?
Yeah. Yep. Exactly. And if they wanted to post a longer YouTube video, so they could
just link it there.
Link it. Yeah, exactly. That's not costing us anything. Let YouTube host that video.
Right. Yeah, exactly. and then just embedded in your site.
Yeah, right.
You know, and that might be, that could be that intermediate step. Here's your, you don't want to mess with the video, so all you would have to do is allow a user to type the response. Then, oh, do you want to add a YouTube video to it too? Paste in your YouTube link, in another field.
Yeah.
And then, so now you have your typed response for whatever blurb that might be, plus your embedded YouTube that a person can play.
Yeah.
And boom, same type of deal. It's still very, very engaging.
Well, and you have to think that if it isn't already happening to some level, Google is going to have to start indexing videos, right? I mean, I wouldn't worry so much about, well, Stack Overflow and Yahoo Answers is going to beat us all day because they have the text of the question, where we wouldn't. We just have the video. But I don't think it's going to matter eventually. I think
I wonder if that's actually the argument for that. And you're probably right. Right now, Quora and Stack Exchange and every other answer form out there, they're thinking searchability in terms of we need that text.
And a lot of people have like exact match. How do I tie a tie? And then here's that question typed in a thing.
Right.
Whereas if I didn't type it, but I don't know. I mean, that's maybe we don't care, right? Maybe it just becomes such a popular thing, and it's, I do think that as I think about it more, not caring is a better way to go.
I think so. Because I think you're right. I think at some point in time, if people are that, if that's how we're interacting, someone's going to come up with a way to index that content.
Yeah,
because you got to think that's you're still just reading bits and bytes.
Yeah,
that you can voice translate all of that stuff.
Yeah. Well, it does a poor job, but Google does allow automatic captioning. Right? It doesn't do a very good job, but neither does Siri. Was horrible 5 years ago.
Exactly. That's only going to get better.
Correct. Yeah. Right. So, and I'm sure that, as more, especially with Google owning YouTube, as more and more things become video based, they have to start indexing it. I'm sure.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's going to keep getting better right up to the point where the machines decide that we're expendable.
Yeah. Right. Exactly. Well, I mean, I'm not opposed to giving it a go. You know what I mean, and giving it a try. And shoot, I don't care. We'll just launch it as garbage. And if it crashes, the site crashes. We get it fixed.
Let's take a look at that. Let's take this next week and look into Quora and Stack Exchange. And I would be highly surprised if there is not an open source project that we couldn't clone and immediately just kind of launch and then add in the video upload functionality.
Yeah, that's
so very quickly, without worrying too much about anything else.
Yeah,
I think that's pretty fascinating, and maybe even spend a little bit of time and to see if there's another like Quora, like Stack Exchange site that's actually doing that.
Yeah. If they are, I don't know about them, right?
I don't either. I mean, off the top of my head, that's a completely unique niche. Like I said, I'm floored that I can't think of anyone that's actually doing it.
Yeah. And I think that what we should definitely look at is Yahoo Answers and Quora and Stack Exchange, how they allow upvotes and downvotes, how things are voted and downvoted. Because that's the biggest important thing, is to let people moderate their own stuff.
Yep, just that reputation engine. Well, and if I remember right from Stack Exchange, you had to actually earn the right to be able to upvote and downvote.
Yeah. And there's lots of different. It's confusing, I think, but there's lots of different tiers.
Oh yeah,
and different questions you're not allowed to answer.
Yep.
You don't have a certain thing, and I think when you read them, it says like, in order to stop thanks and me toos, that you're not allowed to post unless you have this many points and stuff like
Yep. Yeah. So I mean, originally, I think when I first started, I don't have a huge score on there, but it's like you had to, in order to comment on something, you had to get 50. Like you could actually submit an answer.
Correct. Yeah, but
and that was the way to actually build your reputation, was either to submit a question.
Yeah.
Which I've never submitted a question, and I probably should.
I'm trying to think if I have or have not.
But I've answered a few, and then those upvotes give you like points that start to allow you to unlock your ability to comment and to upvote.
Yep.
And upvote more than once a day.
Yep. Well, even think about Reddit, right? I mean, Reddit with video is, essentially the same thing. You know what I mean? It's.
I think that you hit the nail on the head with why these sites aren't doing it. I think that it has everything to do with searchability.
Yeah, and I think that we should just say, who cares, and let it happen.
Yeah, because just on the engagement, people would absolutely be all over that, and like I said, I mean, you could totally just outsource everything to YouTube.
Right. Yeah. For now, we absolutely.
For now, I mean, just hey, we upload because how fast is it to cut a quick YouTube video?
I think the thing that the problem YouTube has is I can't click a button and record my webcam.
Oh, you can't. So even using like the YouTube app, you wouldn't be able to.
I don't think so. I might be wrong, and that what, I'll write that down.
Yeah, because I'm not sure on that either. Because that would be really nice, just be able to open up your webcam. Well, and even if you just opened up, on your phone, open up, you click record. Here's my response.
Yeah.
I wonder if you can take that from your phone and upload it to the YouTube app. Add your description or whatever in, and just publish that. That would be interesting.
Oh, I bet that you can actually.
So I mean, but that kind of fits the use case what we're talking about.
You're right, because again, I'm thinking about like sitting here at my desk wanting to do it, but as we know, 85% of the people are going to do it from their phones.
Yeah,
they would want to, step out of the app into their video, take the video, and then upload it. So we just need to try to come up with the least amount of steps for that to happen.
Yeah, to actually make that happen. But yeah, that's really interesting to kind of figure out, because you'd want it to be an app at that point.
Yeah,
ideally, which is weird because when I think of Reddit, I don't think of reading Reddit on my phone.
No, I don't either.
Quora might be different. Maybe.
I'm not sure.
I'm not sure either. So other questions, what's the use case of like Quora and Reddit and Yahoo Answers? Are those people that are actually at a computer and searching, or are they actually uploading?
Right.
Are they asking those questions from their phone and reading the answers on their phone and in their email? I don't know.
Yeah.
But
all right. I wonder how Snapchat handles video. Oh, well, if they're deleting the videos, then they don't have a massive storage issue.
No, yeah, like I said, I don't know. I am so confused with Snapchat that I don't even think that it's worth me taking a look at. I just need someone to explain why I should care about it. Because I don't. Maybe I have zero vision, but I don't see Snapchat as being the forum for me for anything that I want to do.
Right.
That's just.
No,
so I don't.
Well, let's have a think this week. We'll come next week and talk about our thing. I might cut some of this video out. Only because I'm paranoid. I really don't think anyone will grab the idea and run with it, but I might cut it out anyway.
Well, and that's fine. I mean, I think that we have two very distinct sections here. I think that we have the airport, the first 20 or 30 minutes of a flight time, and then we have this, which was a very good conversation on tech. So,
I mean, the next thing is that no one watches these. We have like 4 views anyway, 5 views.
we don't even watch these.
So,
But I will say that if maybe upload, so you cut these and have this as 2 separate videos, and then publish both of them, but make the section that we just had private.
that's cool. I can do that.
Only for me and you, and that way, if this does happen, then at least we have the bragging rights of saying, "Hey, well, we talked about this."
That's right. Yeah,
years ago.
That's right. The very beginning of 2016, we discussed that. Yeah. So
at which point we'll make it public.
Yes. Let's see. Was that your Kanban alarm?
Where
did yours just go off, or did mine? Do you use that Kanban flow?
I'm still trying to get into it. I have not really.
I could have sworn I just heard the bell.
That may have been just making food.
Something in your kitchen sounds exactly like the timer.
Nice.
Kanban flow. Okay, that's cool. Have a nice week.
All right, you too. Talk to you later.
Bye.